phonics class today, we are reading the nut, ni, the hut. The ending sound in this book is at, at, at. Let's go. Once again, I read first and you listen, and then you read on your own. Are you ready? I found a nut. Your turn. Good. The nut was near a rut. Your turn. Good. The rut was near a hut. Your turn. Good. The door of the hut was shut. Your turn. Nice. I knocked on the door. Is this your nut? Your turn. Good. Nice. But the door of the hut stayed shut. Your turn. Good. I began to strut. Your turn. Nice. Who owned the nut? Did they live in the hut by the rut? Your turn. Good. But the door of the hut stayed shut. Your turn. Nice. I will keep the nut. Goodbye, hut. Goodbye, rut. Your turn. Nice. Good job. In today's book, we practiced the ending sound at, at, at. And now we will see if these words are rhyming words. Are you ready? The first one is cut. Does cut rhyme with at? Good, it does. B is watermelon. Does watermelon rhyme with at? No, it doesn't. Very good. What about snail? Does snail rhyme with at? No, it doesn't. Very good. And finally, her gut. Does gut rhyme with at? Good, it does. Good job. Now it's your turn to see how many words you can think of that rhyme with nut and hut. Leave your answers down below. After this, I'll see you in the next lesson for some more phonics practice. That's all for now. See you next time. Bye-bye. For Comic Book Tuesday today, we are reading How I Met My Monster by Amanda Noel. Let's go! Ooh, look at this. One night, when I reached under the bed for my truck, I found this note instead. Monsters, meet here for final test. Ha! My parents were obviously trying to trick me into staying in bed. I didn't believe in monsters. So I crumpled the paper, grabbed my truck and zipped over to my garage. I heard some creaking and rumbling, but I wasn't scared. Our house always made noises at night. But then a voice under the bed scolded, "Stop that stomach rumbling. The child will hear you." Voices? Stomach rumbling? If this was part of my parents' trick, it was pretty cool. I peered into the inky blackness. 5 pairs of eyes blinked back. "See, now he knows we're here," the voice sighed. "One of you have broken monster rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise." This was no trick, I thought. There are monsters under my bed. A long-necked yellow monster slid out, followed by 4 little monsters. Rule number 2, the yellow one instructed. Never block the bed. All of you scoot over. Hey, I realized, this one must be their teacher. Ooh, very cool. That's better, the teacher monster said. Access to the bed is clear. Now, who knows rule number 3? The purple monster teetered on his tiptoes and gurgled, "Get the child into bed." That's correct, Genghis. And how would you do that? Well, Mr. Z, I would roar my scariest roar. Alright, give it a go. Genghis took a deep breath, opened his mouth, and let out a tiny burp. Stomach rumbling would have a better chance of getting me into bed than that funny little noise, I laughed. The child is right, said Mr. Z, shaking his head. That was not sufficiently scary. Genghis, I'm sorry, you're not the best monster for this child. There was some more creaking as Genghis slunk beneath the bed. Before I could investigate where Genghis had gone, Mr. Z asked, "Now, who wants to try to get the child into bed?" The orange monster looked at the ceiling and the red monster looked at the door. Only the green one looked at me. First, he stared at my toes and started drooling. Then he took a step toward me and I heard that rumbling noise again. I sprang into bed so he couldn't get my feet. Mr. Z blinked. "Very unconventional, Gabe. Your stomach gurgles seem to be what this child needs." What I needed was to make sure this little Gabe monster didn't eat my toes. "Right, you three, the child is now in bed," said Mr. Z. As every monster knows, the ultimate objective is rule number 4. Who can tell me what that is? The orange monster bounced and squeaked. "Keep the child in bed until he falls asleep." Correct, Morgan. And how would you accomplish that? "Shadow puppets, shadow puppets," she squeaked again. Gabe whistled through his nose and I snickered, but Mr. Z said, "Interesting idea. Try it." Morgan hopped onto my night table and flailed her arms near my lamp. Silly shadows bobbed onto the wall and a cloud of fluffy fur tickled my nose. "Achoo! Morgan, stop at once," Mr. Z ordered. "You're supposed to scare him, not make him sneeze." "I'm sorry, but you're not a match either." Morgan's arms flopped to her sides and she scuttled under my bed. There was some more creaking and Morgan was gone. After all that sneezing, I really needed a tissue. Suddenly, a huge shadow of uncut claws loomed across my room. Awesome, I thought, and kind of scary. I froze in place. "Powerful performance, Gabe," said Mr. Z. "But do either of you see a problem?" "Oh, I know," chirped the red monster. "The child is out of bed again." "Correct, Abigail," Mr. Z continued, "and one of you must get him back in. Let's revisit rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise." All at once, poof, the monsters vanished. Then I heard more rumbling. Were they hiding in my closet making noises to scare me? Ha! No, it was only my stomach rumbling. All this excitement was making me hungry. I tiptoed past the closet and peeked out the door. So far so good, no monsters. Then I stepped over the squeaky stair and sneaked down to the kitchen. As I reached into the pantry, I heard some chattering behind me. I sure hoped it wasn't that toe-loving Gabe. I yanked open the fridge. Ha! It wasn't Gabe. It was just the red monster, shivering on the shelf. "Found you," I laughed. "Nice try, Abigail," said Mr. Z. "But this isn't working. You're not the right monster for this child." "But Mr. Z," she whined, "it's not my fault he's not scared of me." "I'm sorry, Abigail. Let's go." Abigail clumped behind Mr. Z. When I heard the creaking, I knew she was gone. I grabbed my crackers and headed upstairs, wondering if Gabe was gone too. I munched all the way down the hall, then went into the bathroom to brush my teeth. When I opened the door a minute later, Gabe was definitely not gone. He was right there and he was huge! I charged into my room and slammed the door. When I leaped into bed, I knew my toes were safe. Whew! I was surprised to hear breathing under my bed, ragged breathing and stomach rumbling. Hey kid, Gabe growled. Good to see ya. I pulled my covers up tight. Now if you don't mind, I'd like to start the evening with an ominous puddle of drool. Then the bed quivered as Gabe unfurled his spiked tail. Well, this looks quite promising, Mr. Z noted. When I heard some more creaking, I knew Mr. Z was gone, and I was alone with Gabe. Gabe loomed over my bed and began sharpening his uncut claws on my bedpost. How did you get so big? I gasped. Rule number 5, my friend, he explained. People food make monsters grow. So thanks for the crackers. Got any toes I can munch? I scrunched in my feet so Gabe couldn't get them. This was way better than playing with trucks. No toes tonight, but you can have this, I offered, tossing a stuffed monster off the bed. Gabe dove for it. His soft, comforting snorts filled the room as he snuffled the toy. I shivered. Kid, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. No other monster can scare me like you, I giggled. Gabe was the monster for me. His snorts and oohs were perfect. I yawned, then shivered again. I was asleep in no time. Wow, what a great story. Do you like Gabe? Share with me down below and tell me what type of monster do you want hiding under your bed. Take some time to have a think, and when you're ready, I'll see you in the next story for some more learning fun. That's all for now. See you next time. Bye bye. For social studies today, we are learning all about Australia, the biggest island country in the world, and where I'm from. Let's go! Chapter 1. Welcome to Australia. Welcome to the land down under. This country is south of the equator. Look for kangaroos in the outback. Play a game of cricket. Sydney is the largest city. The Sydney Opera House is here. This is Australia. Much of Australia is covered in grassland, desert and rock formations. This is called the outback. Dingoes race across the sand. The frilled lizard is here too. Areas with woodlands, shrubs and plants are known as the bush. Koalas live in the trees. Emus feed on seeds and plants. Did you know that a lyrebird is an Australian songbird? It imitates the calls of other birds. It can also make the sounds of a cell phone, a chainsaw, even a car alarm. The Great Barrier Reef lies along the northeast coast. It is the world's largest and longest coral reef. It is so large it can be seen from outer space. The reef is home to thousands of sea animals. Like what? Tropical fish, sea turtles, sea snakes, even manatees. Did you know that thousands of people come every year just to see the Great Barrier Reef? But it is in danger from pollution. Chemicals, plastics, and garbage get into the ocean. What steps could be taken to protect the reef? Share your ideas down below. Chapter 2. Australia's people. Aboriginal people were once the only people here. They moved from place to place, they gathered food, they farmed. Boomerangs helped them hunt, they fished with spears. Torres Strait Islanders lived on nearby islands. Today, more than 600,000 people identify themselves as either Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders. The government is working to help preserve their language. And then Canberra is the capital. The Prime Minister lives and works here. He or she is elected to run the country. Everyone 18 or older must vote. It is the law here. Australia was a territory of Britain until 1901. The country still honours Queen Elizabeth II as its queen. This is the Australian flag, and each part of the flag has its own meaning to the citizens. The first part is the Union Jack, which represents the history of the British settlement. The second part is the Federation Stars. which represents the states and territories of Australia. And then the third part is the Southern Cross, which is a constellation that can only be seen in the Southern Hemisphere. What do you think? Most children in Australia wear uniform to school. Do you wear uniform too? And do you think children should have to wear uniform? Why and why not? Share your ideas down below. Chapter 3, Food and Fun. Time for brekkie. This is what Australians call breakfast. Choose between cold cereal or eggs and bacon. Or try Vegemite, which is a salty spread for toast. Have a hamburger for dinner. It comes piled with tomatoes, bacon, pineapple, beets, eggs and lettuce. Beach cookouts are also very common. People grill sausages, lamb or even crawfish. January 26 is Australia Day. Families watch boat races and go to the beach. Fireworks light up the night sky. And then Anzac Day honors soldiers of past wars on April 25th. An outdoor service is followed by a parade. Summer starts in December. This is beach time. Aussies swim and dive to see ocean life. They surf giant waves. They hike and play tennis. Winter begins in June. Rugby and Australian rules football are played. Australia is a big country to explore. Would you like to visit someday? Let me know down below. Now let's go through some new words we learnt in today's book. The first word is Aboriginal, which are the native people of Australia who have lived there since before the Europeans arrived. Boomerangs are curved sticks once used as weapons and hunting tools in Australia. Capital is a city where government leaders meet. Coral reef is a strip of coral close to the surface of the ocean or another body of water. Cricket is a game played with a ball and a bat. Equator is the imaginary line around the center of the earth. Pollution is harmful materials that damage or contaminate the air, water or soil. Preserve is to keep alive or maintain. Prime Minister is the leader of a country. And then territory is the land under the control of a state, nation or ruler. Now it's your turn. What do you think about Australia? And do you want to visit one day? Share your ideas with me down below. And also tell me some interesting things you learned in today's book. Take some time to think about it. And when you're ready, I'll see you in the next lesson for some more learning fun. That's all for now. See you next time. Bye-bye. For Animal World today, we are continuing with our insect series. Today we are learning about the moth. Let's go! What are moths? Moths have soft wings covered with scales. They are close family members to butterflies. This is what a moth looks like. Many moths are brown or grey, but some have bright colors like this. Do you think this is beautiful? Big feathery antennas help moths smell. They can smell things from miles away. So moths smell with their antennas. Pretty cool, huh? Moth life. Moths live all over. They are often found in forests and grasslands. Many moths are nocturnal. They come out at night. Nocturnal means sleeping during the day and waking up at night. Moths have long, thin mouths. They use these to drink nectar from flowers, like this. From caterpillar to moth. Female moths lay their eggs on plants. Caterpillars break out of them. So did you know that caterpillars grow into moths and moths come from caterpillars? Caterpillars eat leaves to grow. Soon they spin silky cocoons. The lifespan of a moth is 6 to 9 months. Caterpillars change inside their cocoons. Out come adults with brand new wings. That is one big moth. Now it's time to learn some words from this book. The first word is antenna, which are feelers connected to the head that sense information around them. Nectar is a sweet liquid that comes from plants, especially flowers. Caterpillars are worm-like baby moths. And nocturnal means active at night, sleeping during the day. Cocoons are silk cases that moths spin around themselves for safety while they grow. And finally, scales are small plates that cover an animal's body. Fish have scales too. Now it's your turn. What do you think about the moth? Do you like them or do you think they look scary? Share with me down below. And also, let me know some things you learned in today's book. Take your time, and when you're ready, I'll see you in the next class for some more learning fun. That's all for now. See you next time. Bye-bye. For Science and Art class today, we are learning all about the color blue, the coolest, chillest color in the world and my favorite color. Let's go! A relaxing world. Do you like cool, calm colors? Many people love the color blue. Blue things can be found in nature. Let's see if we can find a few. For example, this flower and butterfly are shades of blue. The sky is a bright, bold blue on a sunny summer day. Clouds float across the sky like fluffy pillows. The water is blue in the wide open ocean. Dolphins splash and play in the waves. And this is a bottlenose dolphin leaping from blue ocean waters. Forget-me-nots are blue flowers and they bloom in the shade. Some parrots are a brilliant blue color. This bird lives in South America. The hyacinth macaw is a kind of parrot. People pick blueberries when they are ripe on the bush. What a tasty treat! And then there are sapphires that are pretty blue gemstones. They can be worn as jewelry. This necklace has blue sapphires and white diamonds. Blue things are also made by people. Jeans are blue denim pants. Jeans are comfortable, sturdy clothes for relaxing or playing outside. People wear blue makeup. Cars are also painted blue. For example, baby blue is a light shade of blue. Here we have Patrick, who is under a baby blue blanket. The light shade of blanket is also called pastel blue. And then there is navy blue, which is a dark shade of blue. Jenny's dress here is navy blue. And then there is turquoise, which is the name of a blue-green color. Dolly here is wearing a turquoise necklace. Jewelry made with turquoise stones is popular in some American Indian cultures. And finally, there is also periwinkle, which is a beautiful purplish shade of blue. This flower is periwinkle colored. Periwinkle is the name of this flower and this color. Feeling blue? Sometimes people say that they are feeling blue. What does that mean? Are they cold? Is the skin turning blue? No. When people say they're feeling blue, it means they're sad. When people sing the blues, they sing about what makes them feel sad. This girl's face and lips are painted with a blue design. And here we have B.B. King, who is a famous blues musician. What about you? Do you think blue is a sad color? Becky here loves blue. She does not think blue is a sad color at all. She loves it. Becky wears blue clothes from head to toe. She even has blue eyes. Blue is her favorite color, and she loves to eat blue cotton candy. Cotton candy is often blue or pink. Her bedroom is blue, and it makes her feel happy. Do you like a blue bedroom? What is your favorite color? Let me know down below. Now let's go through some new words that we learned from today's book. The first word is bloom, which is when a plant's flowers opens. Blues are sad songs about a person's problems. Brilliant means very bright. Calm means peaceful. Hue is the darkness of a color. Nature is everything in the world that is not made by people. Palette is a thin board on which artists can mix paints. And finally, a primary color is a color that cannot be made by mixing colors, such as red, blue, and yellow. Now it's your turn. What do you feel about the color blue? Share with me down below. And also tell me what are your favorite things that are blue colored. Take some time to think about it, and when you're ready, I'll see you in the next lesson for some more learning fun. That's all for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. In today's class, we are reading about the Princess Frog. Don't forget to stay to the end of the story because then we have some comprehension questions to test your understanding. Are you ready? Let's go! Princess Miranda was tired of being a princess. She was tired of dressing up. She was sick of crowns and jewels. "You have to wear them," said the queen, "because you're a princess." One day, she went to see her godmother, who was a witch. "Turn me into something different," she begged. So Miranda's godmother turned her into a frog. Miranda liked being a frog. She liked floating on lily pads and leaping through the leaves and catching flies. One evening, she leaped into the park where a young gardener was working. "Look at that frog," the gardener said to his friend. "Let's catch it and keep it in the lily pond." The next morning, the gardener went to look at his very own frog. Miranda was leaping around. The gardener laughed. "If I found a girl as funny as you, I might even marry her," he joked. "Take me home," croaked Miranda. "A frog that speaks?" said the gardener, surprised. So the gardener took Miranda back to his cottage and she sat beside him in a bowl. "If you give me a kiss," said Miranda, "I might even turn into a princess." "I don't kiss frogs," said the gardener, but he did it anyway. Suddenly, a pretty girl stood beside him. He fell deeply in love. "Princess Frog, will you marry me?" he said. But Miranda wasn't quite sure. "No more dressing up?" she asked. The gardener laughed. "Jeans and a t-shirt for you, my love." "No more crowns," said Miranda. "They give me such a headache." The gardener laughed. "No crowns here," he said. "And I'll need to keep leaping," Miranda added. "I'll build you a trampoline," promised the gardener. "Okay," said Miranda. "If I don't have to dress like a princess, I will marry you." And so they were married, though the queen did not approve of Miranda's wedding outfit. And of course, they lived happily ever after. But every once in a while, Miranda slipped back into her frog skin and floated happily on a lily pad in the pond. Now it's question time. Today we have 5 questions. Are you ready? Question 1. What was the princess's name? Do you remember? Was it A. Michelle, B. Joanne, C. George, or D. Miranda? What do you think? I'll give you a moment. The answer is D. Miranda the princess. Very good. Question 2. Who turned Miranda into a frog? Was it A. her aunt, B. her mum, C. her godmother, or D. her sister? What do you think? I'll give you a moment. The answer is C. Her godmother turned her into a frog. Very good. The next question is, who took Miranda home? Was it A. the teacher, B. the gardener, C. a painter, or D. her mum? What do you think? I'll give you a moment. The answer is B. It was the gardener who took her home. Very good. Next question is, how did she turn back into a princess? Was it A. from a kiss, B. was it from a spell, or was it C. from an apple? What do you think? I'll give you a moment. The answer is A. from a kiss. Very good. Now, final question. Are you ready? What did she wear to her wedding? Did she wear a coat, a dress, a swimsuit, or jeans? Do you remember? I'll give you a moment. The answer is jeans. She wore jeans to her wedding. How funny is that? How many answers did you get correct? If you got 5 out of 5, it means you got 100% and you're incredible. Good job. Now it's your turn. What do you think about this story of the Princess Frog? Let me know down below, and also tell me if you like it or not and what is something you learned about the story. Take some time to think about it, and when you're ready, I'll see you in the next lesson for some more learning fun. That's all for now. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.